with me, Elk. Joining me is the Avenger only one, and that is Kelan Philips. Kelan, basketball, BA basketball started on Sunday. And some interesting things happened on Sunday. I mean, apart from that, you had lunch and you had to then eat your lunch quickly and run down to watch the first game. But it was interesting. First game of the season was Lakers versus the Schoolboys. And I have to say that Lakers were not, obviously they are not ready. They didn't look fit. And obviously they probably was hoping by the third quarter that the game was done. If let's go and probably start another day. It didn't happen that way, and the Schoolboys romped to victory in the fourth quarter. For the Schoolboys, they look kind of organized. They look organized. They look obviously that they were practicing for a while, but Schoolboys still have the same schoolboy problems. Their defense to me is not as good as it should be, and they will get tested by the bigger teams, but they also will get better as the season goes on. So I expect that they will stick in some people's teeth and cause some problems. So that was the first game. What do you think about that game?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch most of the games. I had a prayer engagement, so I only really got to watch the last game. But I was still following the stats and everything, and seeing how the game was going. It was pretty even throughout the onto the third quarter, as you say. It started to slow down based on what you saw, and then Schoolboys pull away. As you said, Schoolboys kind of typically start, so I think actually fairly good because they're a young team. So like whereas older teams may try to work their way into shape as the season goes on, Schoolboys are more likely to jump a team early. Hopefully it won't end up costing the team maybe later on, but they won 76-64. Scott, he had 21 points, 12 rebounds, and Tristan Yard led for Tridents with 19.17 rebounds. So yeah, they hopefully they get better as the season goes on. But interesting first game based on what you saw. So well followed on this actually.
Right. So the second game then was Celtics. Everybody was waiting to see the Celtics team. And there were much anticipation. I must say though, their gear, they won the most ugliest gear for sorry. The gray looked similar to the Pinelands, and I wonder if Charlie was trying to recreate what was happening over at Pine. But I think he missed it on the color because I think there's a little maroon in the Pinelands gear. There was a little black in there, so they had this gray and black thing going on. I ain't really sure what happened, but I must tell you two things that I saw. They shot 100 shots, 100 shots. They scored 83 points. Now, the team turned over the basketball many times. I think it was 20-something times they turned over the basketball. But I think some of the problems that the Celtics have was just the mere fact that they were trying to, show off. Well, some people left teams, and obviously people will come to see how they look and how they're playing together and put themselves on a little bit of pressure. So they didn't shoot well, but I don't think this will continue for the entire season. So I am not too disturbed by how they shot. But I think two teams in this tournament, and they are one of them, and I will tell you about it just a minute later. But yes, they did what they were supposed to do. I ended up beating, I think it's Warriors. So that was game 2. Game 3, the Cavaliers scored 100 points, the first 100 points for the season, and they limited Spartans to 42.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that it's going to be a long season for the Spartans. They turned over the basketball 43 times.
That's more turnovers than points.
Yes. So I mean, they will have a very long season ahead. But there's something I saw also, so and I will mention that man to you too. That was the third game. I didn't see anything from the Spartans that would prove to me that they will, like get monumentally better. They will get better, but I don't see them. They are going to be up against it.
Yeah.
And then that was the third game. The fourth game, the big game, that was the Pine versus Bulls last year's final, and it lived up to its billing. But there are a couple. So here's no what I'm going to tell you. Cavaliers and the Celtics are the two teams that bench is not thin. All the other teams bench real thin. Bulls bench thin.
Yeah.
Finals bench even thinner. Finals even have to go back to people back in the day. Lakers turned up with 6 and lost 1, and having to play with 5.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but of course, Warriors, they have a bench, but I am not sure. I'm not sure. They're still trying to find their way in Premier League. So
yeah,
it will be very interesting going forward. But it seems there will be a top 4 and a bottom 4. And depending on who gets better as the tournament goes on, I can see the Celtics, I can see the Cavaliers. I think those will be the teams at the top. I also think Pine will be in there, but there are if they could get some bench help, they'll be better. And I saw and I think Bulls also is really thin. They're waiting the return of one Kelan Philips. I am not sure if he's going to be able to help them, but and I don't know which season it would be because this season seems to be going pretty fast. So we'll see what happens, but it's still early days. I don't see anybody looking like if there will be any problems. But some teams need some help, and if they don't get it, they might find themselves in Division 1 next year.
Yeah. I think I might have to slightly disagree. I think Pine might, in my opinion, I think Pine might be the best team right now, despite their bench depth not being really great. I think that their starting five, they remind me of kind of like the Nuggets early up, like in this year, like the Nuggets bench wasn't deep, right? Because it wasn't really using like Reggie Jackson or whatever early up, but their starting five was so good that they could they could just beat teams mainly off of that, like Rashid, Darion, Darrini, CSAT, and then you still got Hall off the bench. So like
I'm not discounting them.
No, I'm not saying you're.
When I say Cavaliers, I don't mean that they'll be 1 or 2.
Yeah, but they be in the top 4.
I don't think they stop the playing in any tournament. Not if they got their core, and they still have their core. So I think they will be the top team to beat.
Yeah, and interesting to see. Topham has a couple other guys. It's just that in terms of registration, they didn't get started yet. So
okay.
Yeah. So I think we got like two or three other guys. So the bench won't be as thin going forward. Okay. And so I just interested to see. As you have mentioned, Celtics a little earlier. I interested to just see how they gel, how things go with them, the style of play that Charlie has them to get up a lot of shots. And Warren's, I think Warren's gonna have to find somebody to maybe like set up their shooters or stuff like that. I think that's gonna be a big thing for them. Honestly, for Warren, a big win this season will be just staying up. Like you got into prime after that. I think their focus is to stay up and then see how it goes from there. Spartans are not gonna lie. Spartans might be in some trouble. Think they might be going down. Cavs Cavs is Cavs. Devon doing his best at being impersonation, scoring 20 points in 15 minutes. So, points for a minute. So yeah, early reaction from for first day. Can't really take too much from it. Obviously, when we get to 3 or 4 games, we got a bigger sample that we can really see
Yes.
how things go from there. But so yeah.
Yeah. So next couple of games, we'll be able to
Mm.
see who really, really do well. But I am still very happy with how the season started. I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's going to finish by April. It means that if you don't get ready by the middle of February, you should really be, watching. You're
So
gonna be watching more basketball. So
that playing it. Yeah.
yeah, so I am glad that it started. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it can write off anybody, but some teams look like if they will struggle, and some teams look that they will get sharper, and we will see who does what going forward. And that is the BABA. So we'll look forward to see that next week. But the next segment is the NBA, and we are joined by none other than the Bajan Scout.